everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jacqueline Flores, and for today's video I will be talking about the time when I was 15 and pregnant. Before I start this video, I just want to say that I am in no way encouraging teen pregnancies. If anything, I'm making this video to prevent teen pregnancies. So when I met my boyfriend at the time, I was a freshman in high school, and yeah, that's all you basically need to know. You know, we talked, we were friends, and then things got more serious, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna really tell you guys stuff that you really don't need to know because I don't want to make this video longer than it probably is gonna be. So yeah, so starting sophomore year, we were pretty we became more closer, you know. I don't really say serious because we were only like what, we were like 6-7 months into dating already. So I was a sophomore in high school and my boyfriend was a junior, and skipped school, and yeah, you know what went down. Fast forwarding to when we found out we were pregnant. Basically how I found out we were pregnant is my boyfriend, I guess, noticed that I wasn't like acting the same, you know, that I was always tired, I was always hungry, and like I was always getting sick basically, and he like knew. So one night he comes to my house, and I mean, we usually would always hang out at night, like outside my house in his car. Like we'd just go get something to eat, and then we'd come back and park outside my house, and then we'd watch like movies or something in his car, and that's what we basically did like almost every night. So one night, you know, he comes, and you know, he just wasn't acting the same. Like he was just kind of like more serious and stuff. And then he tells me, he's like, I think you're pregnant. And I just looked at him like, what? Like, why do you say that? He's like, well, I've just been more tired lately, and that basically the pregnancy symptoms that you would get, he said he saw it in me. So he kind of like had that feeling like he knew I was pregnant. So he went to go buy a pregnancy test before he came to my house, and he gave it to me. And like I just kind of took it just to prove him that I wasn't, because I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. Like he's being stupid, you know, like he's dumb. But either way, I'm just gonna take it just to show him that I'm not pregnant. The good thing was that my parents weren't home. I don't know where they went. They went to a store or something. So I went inside to go take the test, and what turned out to be an eternity, which was 3 minutes later, it came out positive. At first, I didn't really believe it, you know. I was like, what the hell? Like, it came out positive. You know, I was like, no, it's probably just a false alarm thing. I was like, it's a Dollar Tree pregnancy test. I was like, those things don't work most of the time. So I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. You know, I was just basically denying it. Like, I didn't want to accept it. So I go outside and I tell my boyfriend, I was like, it came out positive, and he was there kind of like shook. He wasn't surprised, but he was still surprised, if that makes any sense, you know. He thought I'd probably be like crying, so he was basically already ready to like comfort me and console me and all that stuff. But like I said, like I didn't believe it, so like all I did was fall asleep in the car. Like that's how tired I was. That's how much my pregnancy symptoms showed, and I still didn't believe that I was pregnant. Like, instead of being all worried and scared, you know, like I was just tired. Like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sleep. And I slept in this car for like an hour. Yeah, that's basically how we found out that I was pregnant. So fast forwarding on to like more later days, I decided to take another pregnancy test. I was like, because if I was pregnant, I'd probably be more longer into the pregnancy, and you know, I could have for sure knew if I was pregnant or not. So we, instead of getting like the dollar ones, well, we still got the Dollar Tree ones. We got like about 3 of them, and then we got one that's more expensive from Walmart, and they all came back positive. So that's when I like started getting scared and nervous, when I was like, shit, I'm actually pregnant. Like I was like, my parents are gonna kill me. I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, what did I just get myself into? Like, how can I be so stupid, you know. That basically all that came into my head. If you're a girl and you come from a Hispanic family, you understand this. Like, your parents will always tell you, oh, I'm gonna kick you out, you're not welcome in my house no more. And yeah, it's like, what am I gonna do? Angie's gonna kill me. What am I gonna do? Like, what did I get myself into? What did I get myself into? You know what, from the start, my husband wanted to be responsible about it and tell our parents already, but I was like so scared, guys. Like, I wasn't ready to tell my parents. Like, I like basically convinced them to keep it a secret until I was ready. And that's why it took so long for us to tell people that I was pregnant, because I just wasn't ready to lose my family, basically. That's what I was scared of the most, that if I were to tell my parents and family that they weren't gonna talk to me no more, like they were just gonna tell me that to leave, basically. So I was like, I need more time, like, yeah. So a few weeks passed by, you know, and I was still freaking out that I was pregnant. And the most importantly, I was trying to hide like my pregnancy symptoms, like morning sickness. Like the first trimester, I got super bad morning sickness in the morning, and I was trying so hard to hide my symptoms because I didn't want nobody to find out. But you guys, like, seriously, like, my husband was like so supportive, and like since the beginning he was always like, you know what, I'm gonna be responsible for this, like I'm gonna take care of you guys, you know, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be okay, like let's just tell your parents. And, you know, like, as much as he like tried to like convince me that things were gonna be okay, like I was still so scared, you know. But I'm very thankful that I did have like such a not responsible, because we weren't responsible. He took responsibility for our action, basically. Like, he was just so supportive the whole time. And, you know, I'm very thankful for him, because I really don't know what I would have done, but I'm just thankful that I had him to be my support system. So when I was about 4.5 months, I think, my husband ended up telling his older sister that I was pregnant. Him and his older sister have like a very good bond. He basically says that that's his second mom, because ever since he was little, that basically his older sister like raised him, you know, because his mom was always working, so she would always be the one taking care of him. So, you know, he had that much trust in her to tell her I was pregnant. And basically, like, she helped us out so much, like, seriously. Like, till this day, I'm so thankful for her. Like, she's helped us out so much. So she also knew that I was pregnant for a while too, before I told my parents. And she was the one that bought me the prenatals and basically just giving us some advice. We also told her not to tell nobody until we were ready, so that's why she kept it a secret too. So at the time, it was just my boyfriend, me, and my sister-in-law that knew that I was pregnant. So at this point, I was already 5 months. I was still going to school. I remember that day I was gonna tell my parents I was pregnant. I told my sister in the morning before. We were arguing about something. I don't know what we were arguing about. And she's like, what, you're pregnant? And I was like, yeah, maybe. And I don't think she like took it serious, you know? Maybe she did, I don't know. And like, that's how we left it off. Like, we just didn't even say anything. We went to school, whatever. And yeah, when we got back from school, I tried telling her again, and that didn't go good. She started yelling at me and telling me what not and all this other stuff, and basically telling me what I already knew. Like, my mom was gonna kill me, my dad was gonna kill my husband, you know. She was just yelling and yelling and yelling, which, you know, I already expected. But she took it worse. I was like, I think that's what got me more scared of telling my parents, because I was like, okay, well, if she reacted this way and she's just my sister, imagine how my parents are gonna react. Like, they're gonna kill me, Angie's gonna kill me, Angie's gonna get me. And keep in mind, my husband was with me when she was telling me all these things, and she was yelling at my husband too. And we were just like there calmly trying to talk to her. You know, I was like crying my eyes out, and my husband was there trying to calmly talk to her. And she was just yelling at him. And so I go to my room and I start getting some stuff. She follows me into the room and starts yelling at me more, telling me all these stuff that just made me cry more, basically. Like, she was just mad, and I understand. Like, I don't hold it against her, because I know she was just like mad and she was very disappointed in me. So we left and we went to his parents' house, and I was just crying the whole way. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna die. So we got there before his parents did, and we were in the living room, and I was just crying there and crying, and then his parents get home. My heart started racing even more. I was like, fuck, you know, we're gonna have to tell them now. And so they see me crying. They see me crying and stuff, and they're like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? And my husband told his parents, he's like, she's pregnant. And like, the whole room just got quiet. Like, it was just silent for a while. And then they just started telling us that, they're like, oh, you know, like, stop crying, you know, like, you're not the first one that's gone through this, and you won't be the last one either. They were just telling us, like, you know, we need to do this first and then do that. And basically, they were just trying to help us the most they could too. And they had asked me if we wanted them to come with us to go talk to my parents, and we said yes. So they came with us. My parents were working that day because it was still a school day, and they both got out like around 7. So we waited until like my parents got out before we went to the house. So we get there, and when I first saw my parents there, like, you could tell that they knew already. Like, they already knew. Basically, my father-in-law did all the talking, which that's what I'm thankful for, that he talks so much that you sometimes forget what you're even talking about. Like, that's how long he talks. So that's what happened too when we were talking to my parents, that he just went out and talking about life, and like about how people make dumb choices, but that everything's gonna be okay, you know, that life goes on, that we live and we learn, blah blah blah. Yeah. And like, I don't know how long he was there talking, and my parents were there just in silence. You know, they were looking at my father-in-law speaking, and then they'd look at me sometimes. You could tell that they'd look at me, because, like, you know that feeling when someone's looking at you? That's the feeling that I'd get constantly being in the room with them. All I remember is my mother-in-law saying, so do you want to tell them? And I looked up to them, and I was like, and I couldn't even say the word, like, the words wouldn't come out. I was like, I was like stuttering the whole time, you know. I was like, I'm pregnant, and I was like, I'm sorry, you know. And then I started crying even more, and like, you could just see disappointment and sadness in them, and I don't even know how to explain it. It was horrible. It was so horrible telling them, and like, they just didn't say anything. So like, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think my father-in-law started talking again, you know, saying more stuff, you know. And I just remember my dad telling me that they still love me, and that they were gonna be here for me, you know, that they weren't gonna kick me out or anything like that. And once I heard that, like, so much sadness went away from me, just because like, I expected them to say the worst to me, like basically what my sister told me, you know. I expected them to say like even more worse stuff. I'm just so happy that I was able to get such supporting and loving parents, you know. As much as what me and my sisters like say to them, do to them, whatever, like, they're just so forgiving, supportive, and loving. Before I left the house, they had told me that if I wanted to stay with them still, you know, I chose to leave. I was like, I'm already like so far into the pregnancy, I was like, might as well do it now than later. That's what I remembered telling my parents. I don't really, like I said, I don't really remember much, because my father-in-law was the one that talked the most. After I left, I didn't see them for like a week or two, and when I first went to my mom's house, they were telling me how they asked me how I've been, how it was like living there, if I was okay, you know. And and basically they were just telling me also that how things have been since I left, and they had told me that out of everybody that my dad took it the most worst. That he wasn't eating. He would just wake up, go to work, and then come back and lock himself in the room and just go to sleep. And it was basically the same for my mom too. Like, I mean, I understand too, like, they just found out that their 15-year-old daughter's pregnant. Like, they're not gonna be all happy about it either. So I understood that they were gonna be like upset and disappointed. They were like very supportive to me. Like, I don't know, like, I think they just already knew that how much depressed and sad I was already, that they didn't want to give me anymore. I started to tell me that they would like argue a lot. So I think they just probably took it out on each other. So that's how I told my parents I was pregnant, and that's how basically everything went down. And so for my first ultrasound, I was about 5.5 months, which was very exhausting going to appointments, because since I was so far into my pregnancy, they needed to give me so many appointments, like ultrasounds, shots, all this stuff, because, you know, I waited so long to do that my baby, they needed to make sure that my baby was healthy, that I didn't have any disabilities, check if his blood levels were good and stuff. And yeah, so my first ultrasound was when I was 5.5 months. I was found out what the gender was going to be, and they told me it was a boy. And everybody was happy that it was going to be a boy, you know, because in his family, basically my son was going to be the one that was going to carry the Flores last name. And my parents were happy that it was going to be a boy, just because their whole lives they've been trying to have a boy, and like it just never happened for them. Like, it was 3 girls, so when they found out it was going to be a boy, like, they were happy about it. My dad was super happy about it too. So still, after a while, not a lot of people knew. Most of my family didn't know either. Still didn't know. I did tell some of my friends, like 2 or 3 of my closest friends, and you know, they kept it a secret as well. They didn't really tell nobody. The whole school didn't even know either. Things were good with me and my husband. Like, we were doing so good and everything. We never really fought that much. We probably like fight about little arguments here and there, but for the most part we were doing good. You know, we were happy that we were gonna have a baby. My due date was July 28th, and I ended up having my baby boy on July 14th at 4:16 in the morning, weighing at 8 pounds and 14 ounces. Yeah, he was a baby, big baby. I just think that once my baby was born, everything just basically fell all into place. Like, everybody was good, we were all good. We were happy, everyone was happy with my baby, you know. Endless love and support was given to us. Like I said, I'm not doing this video to basically encourage teen pregnancy, because I know my story is different from other people's stories. Like, my stories was more like loving and supportive, and you never know, like, it's always different with the person. Like, everybody's story is different, every families are different, so you just never know what could happen in these type of situations. So that was my 15 I'm pregnant story. I did get pregnant again at 19. Sorry if this video didn't seem as descriptive, or if I like was rushing through stuff. I filmed this video like so many times and I'm just over it already, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this video and continue to watch more of my future videos. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like I always say, I'll see you in my next one.